I didn't have my phone with me, and I was just putting the goatie girls to bed. Can you hear all the crows in the woods? That's back in my marshy area in the back. So all the chickens are already inside. They've all gone in, and they go in at this time every night. I just came out to put the goaties, the girls, in their house because I lock them up every night to make sure that there's no predators around. And as soon as I came out the side door, I was hearing that loud ruckus back behind the woods, which tells me something's back there because the crows are freaking out. Well, one sweet chicken was up on the fence right over here between the horse area and the goaties, and she was watching the goatie girls, and it looked like she was keeping guard. Every other chicken, 46 other chickens, are in their house already, but not this girl. This girl wanted to make sure that my goatie girls were safe and waited for me to come outside. So I gently picked her up off the fencing. Say hi. Oh, you're so sweet. She has beautiful colors, which are hard to see in the night image right now. But she was making sure my goatie girls were safe. Bless her heart. So I'm gonna go tuck her into bed. She stayed up late for my goatie girls. You can see, this was one of the little chicks that I raised. They've gotten so big. Gonna need a special name for you. I haven't named all of these ones yet. Okay, thank you. Keeping my goatie safe. Good girl. Tuck her into bed. I know the lighting is terrible because it's nighttime. It's about 10 minutes before pitch black where I live, which is happening a little bit earlier every night right now. It's so calm on the farm right now, just tucking everything in. I don't know, something as simple as the chicken waiting up for my goaties to go in just makes me feel just really warm and fuzzy tonight before heading in for the night. I just feel like I'm doing something right here on the homestead, you know? It's so much work doing everything we're doing. And I know you guys only get to see just a tiny little snapshot of what it actually is like, or how much work goes into spending enough time with the animals and taking the best care of them we possibly can, and working to have the resources to be able to care for them, and obviously doing the actual care for them. And so when moments like this happen on the homestead, just makes all of the hard work that I'm going to say endure, for lack of a better term, all the hard work that we put in, it just makes it so much more rewarding when these types of things happen, you know, like, just makes it all worth it. These are the moments that I live for. Did you know that chickens can recognize 100 human faces? That is why it's so important for me to make sure I am so sweet and take so much extra care to every single one of my animals, right from the tiniest little creatures on my land that aren't even our farm animals, that are like wildlife, my chickens, obviously our goaties, right to the largest animals, our horses and cows. But how you care for animals and the vibe that they sense from you is so important. And all of my hens know that if I go to reach for them, that it's okay and it's safe for me to pick them up and go tuck them into bed, because she waited for me and she took care of my girls and knew that eventually I would come outside because she recognized me and she knows me. I think the power of animals is so cool. Honestly, so cool. Just tucking everything in. Honestly, I think the power of animals and just like their own abilities and their ability to know people and to know what kind of person you are is absolutely one of the coolest, most remarkable characteristics of so many animals. Now, because I got the chicken all put away and the coop's all closed, I gotta go get these goatie girls in. And they're running around playing outside because it's nice and cool right now. And it's been pretty warm and sticky in the days. So I don't know if they're gonna wanna go in. Come on, time for bed. Good job. First, some squitches. My girl. Take care of the girls tonight, okay? Yeah. Ricky likes bedtime snuggles. And then she'll go to bed, right? Good night. Time for bed. You have to go night-night. Good morning, YouTube family. Okay, last night we got home super late. We had to go do a hay haul, which meant that we not only had to drive several hours after renting a U-Haul to go get the hay, but then we had to bring the hay back, unload the hay, get the boys off the bus, and then drive the U-Haul rental back to the U-Haul rental place because it has to be back every day by the next morning at 9, and the kids have school in the morning. So we had to do all of that round trip in the same day. Oh my gosh, absolutely wild. In addition to the fact that we have been building a million boxes, labeling a million packages, and doing everything we need to do, getting a ton of orders out and ready to go and get sent out. And today I have, again, a million and one things to do today, but we are going to enjoy this beautiful day. It feels like fall today, which is kind of scary because we have a lot of things to do before winter. And I know the snow doesn't really fly for us here for another couple months, but we really are, you know, going to be racing the clock this year to get everything done that we need to do for winter while we're running our business and YouTube and doing everything else. So you're gonna get to see pretty much everything and anything that we have to do over the next couple of weeks because it's gonna be a whirlwind. So I'm gonna get us home right now. I'm in Phil's mom and dad's truck and we're gonna go home and get to work. Oh, we're finally getting some rain. Some pouring rain for about 24 hours. I don't know if you can see, but straight through there is a whole group of the cutest little chickens, and they're all hanging out and roosting on the fence. And they're using the trees as an umbrella. So adorable. There's little chicken armies all over the property, and they've all found a different spot to hang out today. Yesterday, we were working on rendering some of our next batches of tallow balm and whipped tallow. We're actually launching a new version of our tallow this week, coming up with some other new eco and totally sustainable products, which I'm so excited about. But this batch is just sort of, we have some on the back burner because you guys keep ordering more and more tallow, which is so exciting. But that means we need to be constantly rendering and purifying tallow and taking care of baby goats along the way. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to take some tallow that we started yesterday. It went through its first wet rendering. So what we do is we do a process called wet rendering, and we take beef suet, which we get from a local butcher, and we cut it into little pieces. And by we, I mean Philip. He cuts it all up into little pieces for us, and we get it started into a crock pot on low. And it's going to sit there for hours, and it's going to render out all of the water and moisture and salts that we put into the first process. I will show you that on a future video, but we're already one stage ahead of you. Once it's done rendering in the crock pot for hours, we then strain it through a filtered cloth and make sure that we get out any impurities. And that is going to drip all of the usable tallow, or the next stage of what we're gonna do for the tallow, into a stainless steel bowl. Every time I talk, he wants to.
Yeah, is that what it is?
And so what we're left with after putting it into the fridge overnight is this block of tallow. And we're using as much locally sourced grass-fed tallow as we can, or suet as we can. This is what it looks like after its first render. So it is not a pure form yet of what we're doing. And on the bottom, you can see we still have some impurities, and we have a little bit of water still in here from our first render. So now we're going to do this several more times, the same process. So I'm just going to scrape off anything that looks yucky, and honestly, not really any of it did. You can see that it's rendered out and left a little more moisture in the bottom of our bowl. So we're not done yet, and we're going to crack it open. You can see it looks really, really good, but it is nowhere near done. So we're going to now take this and we're going to put it back in our crock pot.
It is pretty thick.
It is really thick, yeah. It was thicker than I thought it was gonna be, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to put this back in the crock pot, and this is going to, again, do another purifying. This time we're going to dry render it, so we're not going to put the water and salt into it. And we're gonna put the lid on, keep it on low, and in a couple of hours, we're going to strain the tallow again. And what that does is it takes out more and more impurities every single time we do it. Make sure that we end up with some that doesn't have any moisture in the bottom. We like to do 4 times rendering for our tallow, which is a very rendered and pure tallow. And we're pretty excited about the high quality that we're offering because we are putting in the extra time and the extra work into every batch. And we're working in small batches. So we're not working in massive batches where we're gonna miss some of the stuff that needs to kind of get drawn out of it. So I'm pretty happy with it. And that's what I've been using on my skin, which you guys have noticed in the videos. One of you was so sweet to say, like, Elysia, you don't need advertisements for your tallow. We can see how much your face has changed on the videos, like an organic ad for your own self. They're like, you are your best advertisement for the tallow because you have seen my face change over the past couple of months using the tallow that we've been making. So That was just a really sweet comment I thought I'd share with you. Definitely made my day. So if you left me that comment, thank you, because I'm never gonna have perfect skin, but I can tell you that since using the tallow that we've been making, my skin has changed like 98%. And this is as perfect as my skin has ever been in my entire life. And that's not really like an ad for my product. It's just honestly, you guys can see it, I guess, firsthand in the videos. You were pretty concerned. I was pretty sore and pretty chapped. And you didn't see the tears before bed as my face was so sore laying in bed at night after being in the winds here in the winter and in the really dry climate we were having. Really, really raw skin. You know, behind the scenes, Philip was seeing a lot of that and started using the tallow 3 days after starting to use it. My face started healing and just like rejuvenating itself.
Yeah, it started healing your face and it nipped those tears in the butt.
It did, it did. And so I have tried lots of barrier creams before going out in those weather conditions. I've tried every product you can literally think of.
Literally.
And every suggestion, every old lady at the grocery store saw my sore cheeks and referred to me as, no one wants to hear that when they're out like, oh dear, you should probably try to use this. Bless their hearts. But I knew how bad it was and was trying to figure out how to fix it. And honestly, 3 days in, and you guys started noticing, and I didn't tell a single soul that I was using any tallow on my face. I've been using the whip tallow. Now, those of asking, the tallow balm and the whip tallow have the same ingredients. They are just a different texture. So in this video, maybe not this video, I think in our next video, I'll be able to show you the difference between the tallow balm and the whip tallow, because I want to show you us actually whipping it. And I don't think we're whipping any today. We won't probably get to that stage in our process today because we're doing a whole ton of different things. But yeah, the difference is that the texture of when you're applying it. I usually use the whip tallow myself, but the tallow balm is great because if you want it to stay on a little longer, it takes just a little bit longer to absorb, whereas the whip tallow is a little more of like a lighter application, but same ingredients. So it's just personal preference. But okay, so this is gonna get a lid on and we're gonna get this plugged in. And this can be kind of like rendering in the background because we have some soap batches that we have to make today because you guys literally sold us out of dish soap bars. Sold us out of dish soap bars. Wild. And I even added some extra ones to the website. So if you want to try, I'll take my gloves off and show you. If you want to try one of our dish soap bars. Oh, I'm slippery. If you want to try one of our dish soap bars, I want to show you kind of what they look like and what you get with them. So this is one of our bars. And they have this really cute detailing on the side. So they're a nice like block bar. I like to keep mine in a little dish by the sink in the kitchen, and then you get a dish soap bar with it. These last a really, really long time. These are sweet orange scent and they are delicious, but don't eat it. It's a dish soap bar. And this is amazing because you have zero waste. That's why I wanted to create this, because we were using so much dish soap, liquid dish soap, super hard on my hands, and throwing out or recycling a whole ton of dish soap bottles every month. And we live in the middle of nowhere and we just try to have as little waste as we can. And so much more eco-friendly way to not have a million bottles. And this will last you so much longer than your actual container of dish soap, like a really, really long time. So super cute. You get one of our little scrubby brushes. We have two different ones. You just get a random one with your order because they're all a little bit different, but we have bamboo bristles. So some are a little more honey colored, some are a little more brown. And you can see we ordered a bunch of extra dish soap scrubbies because you guys sold us out. Some of these are already spoken for and we're gonna get packed up this weekend, which is pretty exciting. But if you wanna try one, super fun. I love doing it, makes dishes that much more fun. Super sudsy, you know, we'll literally wash. I'm actually rinsing and washing all of our really greasy tallow containers, like all of our stainless steel stuff we're using to make the tallow. I'm using our dish soap bars, so it definitely cuts grease because it's literally, you know, the stuff that would be very hard to get out of a bowl otherwise. We have been working really hard on our packaging and trying to make improvements as we go. We are trying to do all of our packaging ourselves just to save some costs at the beginning of running our business. These are for our laundry soaps. This is for an unscented goat milk laundry soap. So we have, you can see we have Brooke on the front. She's our little mascot for all of our goat milk products. Atlantic Soap and Tallow Goat Milk Laundry Soap. This is for unscented. And then we have directions on how to use it, obviously the ingredients, any cautions for people, and then all of our legal requirements we need to have for our packaging. So I'm just working on our next pile of 30 of these. We already have some already done with the product in it. So you can see I've got my next ones all ready to cut. I'm just using my Cricut cutter to be able to cut the actual shapes that we need to put everything on. And then this week also, in my free time, because you know, I've had so much of that, I have been making little cards that go in every order. So it says our little brand logo there, Atlantic Soap and Towel, your order made our day. Thank you so much for your order. We really appreciate you supporting our small business. And then all of our contact informations are in our website and our email. So if somebody needs to contact us about their order. So I've gotten a whole bunch ready for these. I have several bags all ready for the next ones. And then also getting in all of our eco-friendly packaging. So we are using some recycled paper tissue, and then we're also using some of this corrugated filler to go in the boxes so that things like our glass jars and eco-friendly packaging for all of our products don't get broken in transport. So we'll have a combination of different things. So we've been working on obviously taping all of our boxes. We have several different sizes, and then putting our logo on the front. And then of course, when they get closed up, there's going to be all of the shipping information, and everything has to go in the boxes and they get taped up. So we're using right down to the tapes that we're using for our actual boxes, you know, avoiding anything that's plastics or isn't, you know, recycled or recyclable or reusable in some way, because that's really important for what we're working on for our business. So I'm pretty excited about these. I think they look so cute. I would order something from my own shop if it wasn't mine. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. Tonight, I need to get the next rounds of packaging done on a whole bunch of our products. Also, I made a whole bunch of batches that are gonna get launched this week. Peppermint lip balms, they smell so good. They're not on the website yet. We made a whole bunch more because you guys have been selling us out of some of my favorite products that I actually use, which is so unbelievably rewarding to see that so many of you are enjoying and wanting to try some of the things that I've been using and things that my family made right here on our farm. I also think it's a lot of fun that you guys know that that's my brookie, but other people who would buy from our business who don't follow us on YouTube, they just think it's a cute goat on the logo. They won't know that it's brookie, but you guys have the advantage of knowing what some of the names or what some of the images on some of our products are. And I think that's really fun. So you can imagine how much time and care is going into every single order, not only making the products, but doing all of our own packaging, all of our own shipping, all of our own sourcing of everything. So much work is going into what we're doing. So if you want to support what we're working on, then it would be greatly appreciated, especially as we launch what we're working on. The boys are helping me. Philip and I are doing this together. It's been so much fun so far. Okay, look at all of the amazing Atlantic Tides ocean bars that I was working on this week. There's so many more of these, but I absolutely love the way that these look. I can't wait to get the labels on tonight. So fun. And then our honey and oat soaps, I just cannot get enough of these. They're so cute. I love that they are kind of like bee themed. They smell so good, and they have raw local honey in these, which I'm so unbelievably excited about. If you have psoriasis or eczema, rosacea like I do, these are so nice for nourishing the skin and for healing up. And then our traditional normal kind of goat milk soap bars are so nice. So I wash my face with these, and then I use the tallow, which is kind of like my nighttime routine. Super simple routine, but that's all that I need. And I'm calling these new ones English Garden. It has beautiful lavender on top, and they have the green French clay. They're so lovely. We have some new products that are launching on the website this week coming. We want to make sure that all of the orders that have been placed this week are out and en route before we obviously launch anything new on the website. But we have a good handful of new things that are coming. I don't know how long and if it will change anything in regards to shipping to the United States. So if you are in the States and you're considering ordering, then you might want to do that just in case there are any changes. We're hoping that things can stay obviously progressing like they are right now, where we have the option to ship to the United States, but we just never know. So time will tell how that's gonna go. But so far, everything's been going pretty smoothly for the most part, which I think is obviously so lovely when you first start doing something like this. yeah, we have been busy working in the studio this week. Kids have the first week back of school, so everything is kind of like getting back into routine. Chase starting his new job. We have been absolutely swamped, and it's only because of your support that we are as busy as we are lately, which is so unbelievably rewarding with all the hard work we've put into everything. As you know, we're obviously still having our struggles with YouTube, so this is a way for our family to be able to make some revenue. So if you would like to support what we're working on, it is greatly appreciated. And I think you're gonna love everything and anything that you try on the website. If you have any specific questions about any of the products, you can contact us through the website or just leave a comment in this video, and then I will be able to reply to you. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. We're working on quite a few things coming up in the next like 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously finishing our barn for winter, preparing for winter, which is just around the corner. A whole bunch of like fall cleaning, fall cooking, getting into the season change, and then tons of interior renovation stuff. We have a huge list of things that we're working on, and it's gonna be pretty exciting, so stay tuned for that.